Hey guys, RPM here. Hope y'all doing well and having a really great day. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing the Octominer X8Ultra Plus. Now this is a beautiful server case, and as you all know, I have a bunch of the X8 Ultras. So this is a new revision model of the Octominer X8 Ultra, so it's the Plus model, and I'm going to talk about the differences, and I'm going to review the unit, and we're also going to put 8 RTX 3080 non LHRs, so you guys will see, hopefully we'll see over or roughly about 800 mega hash just in this Octominer case. So that's going to be really cool. I will show you guys the rig that I have outside. This guy right here, okay, there are 6 RTX 3080s, Asus TUF non LHRs in this rig, so it's an open air rig. And here is the HiveOS. You guys can see we're getting an almost about 99, almost 100 mega hash on each of the 3080s, alright? And so I have another 2 3080s, which is right here, another Asus TUF non-LHR 3080, and then I have a Zotac Trinity. So this is gonna be a one-off, kinda irks my OCD, but that's okay. Anyways, guys, let's go ahead and open up this X8 Ultra. It's got an easy to remove top cover. Alright, you don't need to unscrew any of the screws, though there is 2 holes at the back if you do want to screw it in later. Just so the lid will stay secured in. Okay, so here it is all opened up, and you guys can see it looks like it's got a bunch of the PCIe cables, which we will unbuckle just a sec. Looks like this is a C20 cable, alright, end, and then, oh, there are the 4 C13 ends. Okay, so this looks like there's 4 C13s into 1 C20 cable. Now that makes sense because this X8 Ultra Plus has 4 750 watt server power supplies, and specifically the model that I have here, if I can take one out just like this, is a Huawei 750 watt 80 plus platinum power supply. So this can be run on 100 volt all the way up to 250 volt at 750 watts. So this can be run on regular like 110 volt plugs, but the issue is here, since this Octominer has 4 of them, and if you are going to be utilizing all 4, that gives you the capacity of 3000 watts. So you're not going to be able to plug all 4 of these into a single 120 volt 15 amp plug, because if you do the math, 110 or 120 times 15 amps, that'll give you roughly about 1800 watts max. But at the 80% rule, you want to go below, you know, 1440 or 1500 watts at the regular wall circuit. So the recommended way to power this X8 Ultra or any, you know, Octominer server case really is to utilize 240 volt 30 amp. So in my case, right, I usually plug this in I have a PDU, and this is a NerdGears PDU, by the way. You guys can go check out nerdgears.com. And this is an L630P plug, all right? And that goes into an L630R receptacle when you have an electrician run a 30 amp breaker to your circuit panel, and they wire up the other end of this plug to plug into, right? So then you have 240 volt 30 amp. And so if you do the math there, 240 volt times, let's say 220 up to 240, it gives you about, respectively, at the 80% rule, about 56 to 5700 watts that you want to go. So then that means you'll have the 3000 watt capacity with these 4 750 watts. Alternatively as well, you can buy the C13 to C14 cables if you choose not to utilize this C13 to C20 adapter. Do have a C14 to C19 adapter cable, and this is rated 15 amp to 250 volt. So example, if you do the math, 15A times 250 volt, this will give you the capacity up to over like 3500 watts. And this is 14 gauge cabling. This adapter here does have the power capacity to be able to utilize through this end here. This C19 end is going to go into the C20 end, and then these 4 ends go into the 4 HP server PSUs, if that makes sense. Okay, so that was just a quick power supply explanation, power cables, because I think a lot of people had questions about that. So I will definitely show you how I plug it in after, when we get all the cards in, all that stuff. Otherwise guys, the X8 Ultra Plus, real quick, in case some people don't know, the X8 Ultra Plus, the biggest difference is that these have 140 mil fans and also 4 750 watt power supplies. That is the biggest difference that I have noticed. And if you go to my older X8 Ultras, which I have a bunch of these, and Octominer, if you're watching this, can I, since I just bought like 20 of these, can I replace them with the X8 Ultra Plus? Because this X8 Ultra has 120 mil fans in the front, not 140. So I'm gonna assume the 140 mil fans are gonna have a lot more, I guess, throughput and more airflow through the server case, obviously. So this is the, I guess, their first generation X8 Ultra, which I'm extremely happy with. I love them. They're just perfect. And oh yeah, it does have the two 1200 watt power supplies, right, instead of the 4 750 watts. So that's one of the big differences between that and this. And just quickly looking at the front, it's got the temperature readers in the front, and I believe there's also one in the back as well. Over here, there's another temperature sensor right back there. And it's got the customizable OLED screen here. It's got VGA, USB, the power button to turn on, reset button, and I believe this is the reset CMOS button. So these 3 buttons are usable. Okay, so that's the front, and I love the red handles. That's honestly why I bought these cases for myself, is because of the red handles and the red and white inside. It's just, it's my colors, right? It's my colors. I know, guys, I know, I'm narcissistic. Anyways, here is the back of the Octominer X8 Ultra Plus, and this is the I/O. There is another power button in the back here for USB, HDMI, Ethernet. And this is the middle control board, okay? This is basically the motherboard, and it's got the CPU, it's got the RAM, SODIMM, DDR3 laptop RAM, and an SSD in the front there, okay? Which is removable, which we will probably, you know, put a brand new HiveOS installation image on here. Very easy to take out, very easy, very modular, I love that. All right guys, so let me just cut this strap, and I'm just gonna count the PCIe cables. All right, this is new for me. They have more PCIe strands coming out of the like hot swappable power supply bay, which is so awesome. So there are a total of 16 different PCIe strands that was all coiled up here. Wow, that is utterly amazing. That's really good because there are 8 individual 8 pins, and they're all cut to the lengths needed in the server case, which is really cool so that you don't have excess wiring. And then each of these have dual 8 pins. So this configuration will be great if you have GPUs that have 3 PCIe per GPU, because you have 16 strands, 8 of them have dual 8 pins, all right? And then the other 8 strands have singular 8 pins. So that is definitely awesome. 2 strands per GPU. That is just awesome. Wow, Octominer, I love that. That is the best. Knowing that you have this many PCIe strands and 2 different strands, it's just like peace of mind when you're gonna be mining with you know, bigger cards like 3080s that I'm gonna be doing. I think the 3080s that I have don't have 3 8 pins, but I'll still be utilizing 2 strands per 3080, which, you know, let's go ahead guys and put it in the motherboard that has 65 mil GPU spacing. So we shall see what the Asus Tufts look like in here with the one Zotac 3080. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. All right, there we are. All the 3080s are in. You guys can see how the spacing is. There's a lot of room in between the GPUs. That's really good, as the airflow nice and tight. So as we put the cover on, all the airflow, especially from these 140 mil fans, just gonna go straight through and out the back. So that should hopefully recycle the air a lot in this server case to extract the heat coming out of these 3080s, which I'm excited to see the temperatures when we go in. Next, I need to put in all of the 8 pins for these GPUs. The Zotac one is a little bit further down, but that should hopefully give me enough length. I'm going to be utilizing all 16 strands like I talked about before, and the other strands that have the 2 8 pins, I'm just gonna coil up the other 8-pin because I'm not going to utilize that. I'm just going to utilize the 8-pin only. Anyways, let's put the PCIe connectors on now. And let me cable manage it. There we go. I did have an issue with the cable management. So initially I had all the cables routed right on top around this area where the 8 pins are. That was a bad idea because then I couldn't close the top of the case. And so what I did instead is routed the cables a bit further down on the other side of where the 8 pins are so that it has less of a height, right? And so it's below the lid. So that's something to be mindful of when you're doing the cable management. And I provided the cable ties myself. I just bought these off Amazon. Would be a nice touch if Octominer did include some cable ties or something like that in their screw box. That would be something maybe they could add in the future. But anyways, guys, it's all plugged in. I think it's time I turn this on. Oh, I do have to image a new HiveOS SSD. So gonna take off the SSD here, and now we're gonna go and put on HiveOS with the SATA adapter on my PC. I'm not gonna show you guys how to do that. You've probably seen me do that millions of times. So you guys will see this whole rig outside where my mining rigs are, and then we'll go ahead and turn it on. Okay, I moved it out here. Got my rig config on the SSD. I'm gonna turn it on now, guys. I have the power cable all plugged in, and one thing I found out was I had one of these power supplies, that was the bottom one here, it was just a little bit out. So I took it back out and I pushed it all the way in. So best practice, make sure, you know, it could have been because of shipping, obviously. The power supplies may have popped out a little bit, so make sure, push them all in, just to verify that. Okay, got the power cable plugged in. And in case some people were wondering, so since it does come with this type of cable, right, the C20 end here, you can plug it into a PDU that has this type of other end, okay? So I do have like a triplet PDU, which has that end right there that we could plug into. But in my case here, since I have most of my PDUs are like this, which has the C14 end here, I'm just gonna plug it into this PDU instead because I wanna see the exact power consumption at the wall for this whole 8x3080 non LHR rig. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and let's turn this beauty on. Oh, this is exciting. I need 2 hands for this. All right, that's in. And the rig looks like, yeah, it turned on automatically. So just to verify, yeah, the GPUs are on. Yeah, the Zotac one is on. Okay, yeah, it looks like I didn't have to press the power button because it looks like these already automatically turn on. So this should change to the HiveOS SSD. It should like give me an IP address or something. Oh, I don't have the internet cable. I didn't plug that in. So that's, yeah, you know what? Gotta do that. Gotta make sure we do that. All right, there we go, internet. So now it should hopefully start downloading and hopefully it should get an IP address. There we go, it's got an IP now. So that means in HiveOS, that means it's connected. So if I just go F5 here on the keyboard, and will it show the GPUs? Yes! Success! Yeah, there we go, the 3080s. Let me scroll down, and yeah, we got confirmed 8 RTX 3080s. We got that one lonely Zotac right there. Alright, so perfect. Let me put on the flight sheet, let me do my overclocks, and we'll see how this thing performs compared to my open air rig that I had before. Alright, be right back. Okay, it's been mining and we've been getting, yeah, 99 mega hash across all the GPUs. Here are my overclock settings that I'm using in HiveOS. And another cool thing, in HiveOS we can see each of the power supplies, how much they're drawing, each of the 750 watts. That's pretty cool. Looks like each one is roughly about 500 watt usage, roughly on each one. And I got the fans at 100% fan speed. And at the wall, exactly, we are at 2,120, 30 watts. Yeah, around there. That's awesome. And we could probably lower the power consumption a bit more if we turned off the auto fan, because right now it's on auto. I have the fans at 100, right? So that's taking a good amount of juice from those 4 140 mil fans. So if we check that off, we can then set the minimum fan speed, you know, maybe 30-40% or something. And you can see here, we can turn on the white LED to find the rig, which is pretty cool, or blink, or LED blink if there's any errors. And this option, Octominer has a dedicated button in HiveOS, so that's pretty awesome. So this whole Octominer X8Ultra Plus gets 800 mega hash with these 3080s. That is killer, guys. Oh man, I'm so happy. I'm so happy with this. Yeah, lots of air coming out of the back here, a lot of airflow, and yeah, I think that helps definitely having the bigger 140 mil fans rather than the 120 mil. Okay, my friends, I think that's it. I guess, yeah, the temperatures seem to be okay. The Zotac one is getting a little bit higher, but I know I need to change the thermal pads on the Zotac one. So I guess I forgot to show the screenshot of the comparison of the other rig, open air rig. It's not too hot in here. I guess the temperature right now, it says 90 Fahrenheit where I'm mining. It's about 85 over here. So yeah, about 85 roughly in this general area. So I'm gonna put the rig over here, and yeah, that's probably where, yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out actually. I'm wanting to actually put the Octominer sideways, so vertical, like so that I can have all the Octominers actually, well, by the exhaust fans. So I plan on not having any of my open air rigs anymore. You guys all know I'm moving to Octominer cases, so I probably won't have any rigs in the center, but then I'll be stacking vertical Octominer cases, probably a little bit higher so that I can go straight out of the exhaust fan. Okay guys, that's it for the Octominer X8Ultra Plus. I think this case is awesome. I didn't run into any issues. Otherwise, very similar to the X8Ultra, which I've played many times with before. And yeah, so thank you to Octominer. They sent this case to me, really awesome. Obviously, I'm gonna keep it with these 83080s. And yeah, I'll update you guys later on once I start transitioning more of my mining rigs to the X8 Ultras that I have here. I wish they were X8 Ultra Pluses now. Octominer, can I return these? Is that possible? Just kidding, just kidding. All right, my friends, thanks for watching. Have a good one, and peace out.